checking in with a driver who I haven't talked to in quite some time. And as you can see by the photo that you're looking at, the reason I thought to call 38-year-old Craig Hanson was I found some photos of him. This one here is from Rolling Wheels Raceway way back on September 27th, 2008. So it's almost 15 years old. Since then, he has gone on to win a whole bunch of races, somewhere between 20 and 30 in his career. Started back in 2001, won a championship in 2007. He was the Glenridge Modified Champion back there. This past season, finished sixth in points at Fonda Speedway, won 2 races there. In addition to racing on Fonda Speedway, I knew he was doing this a few years ago. I didn't know he was still doing it. He basically is in charge of grooming the track. So he has almost a second job in addition to what he does during the week. So let's head out to Johnstown, New York. It's only about 5 minutes to the east of Fonda Speedway. Craig Hanson joins us. What's up, man? I haven't talked to you forever.
Not much. I'm doing good. How are you, Doug?
Glad to hear that. So, man, what was your reaction when you saw this picture?
That was a long time ago. I always liked rolling wheels. I never did very good there. I only won a couple of times in my early career, but it was always fun to go there. Mm-hmm. Super fast place.
And you told me, because the other question I asked, I said, the driver's suit still fit? You said yes, but not for a while there. It didn't, huh?
Yeah, not for a while. I gained a little weight. Now I lost it. So.
All right, so you still have that
back
suit?
About the same. I still have that suit, yes.
Oh, that's a backup if he needs it. I must have been rushing him because if you notice, his shoes aren't even tied in that picture. So I must have said, "Craig, hurry, hurry," or something like that. So outside of we'll talk to Craig, the race groomer, in a minute. But Craig, the race car driver, how was last year?
Last year was good. We started out with a brand new car and a brand new motor. Besides the engine block, and come to find out, the block had a little issue once we started, but. It was a rough start. The motor broke twice. It had bush lifter valleys in it, and they were not put in proper. We bought the block used. So we finally got a new block put in it, and then the third night out, I got in a wreck and smashed the car. So it started out very bad, and then the fourth night we sat in victory lane. So we went from the worst to the best.
Just like that. So isn't it nice when that happens, because you do all that work and you're thinking, oh, I should win again soon, and it happens tonight. It's got to be a good feeling.
Yes, it was an awesome feeling. It was actually my father's birthday, too, on that Saturday.
Better.
So, yeah. So I got to give him a birthday present and get a win. So it was a good, after a bad start to the year, it turned around to be a good season. So.
Now, does he get the trophy on a night when it's his birthday? Is that how you work that?
I actually gave the trophy to my daughter, and then my son was a little upset. But then we, about a month later, we backed it up and got another win, so then they each got a trophy. So they were all excited.
Well, that worked out, right? He was only upset for a couple of months, and then, here. It's good you didn't have a third kid. You would have had to win a third one, and maybe a fourth and a fifth. And it's good you didn't have too many kids, of course. Well, how was the year overall? I mean, once you get those issues sorted out, was it smooth at least after that?
Yeah, once we got that figured out, we were good to go. Honestly, we thought we were good to go. We checked it all out and everything, but unfortunately, that's the bad part about buying used.
That's true.
They were in there. They looked proper, but from what I was told is the angle was off just a little bit, so when the lifters got really going, it was pulling them out. So.
Really? That's how it worked. Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever happened to that motor, that block?
That block, I told them to make a boat anchor out of it.
Okay, so that's gone.
I didn't want to see that block again.
So we start all over, or did we take the heads and some other stuff off that other engine and put them on this newer one?
Actually, it didn't do anything but bend the valve, and then because it would just stick the lifter and it would bend the valve. So we actually used everything else in it. We've actually Tim Fuller had his father had a brand new block for a motor he was going to build years ago, and they never did it. So we got lucky because at that time blocks were hard to find. So I thought of him, and we got that block, and we actually got it put back together for that week because we only had John Grant does my motors, and I only had the one at that time. So when it broke, he had it fixed for the next Saturday, which was
nice,
almost impossible.
Yeah, especially in today's world. So you actually did bend a valve, though?
Yeah, when the lifter would come out, or when the bushing would come up in the lifter valley, it would stick and bend the push rod in the valve.
You're lucky the whole thing didn't turn into a boat anchor, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. Luckily the valve didn't snap off.
Yeah.
So as soon as it made a noise, I shut it right off.
Yeah, and the pistons can hit that too, so there's all kinds of things that could have gone wrong. So I guess we really did dodge a bullet on that one, didn't we?
Yes, we did dodge a bullet.
So what are we thinking now coming into this year? I mean, sixth in points. I'm sure those first few weeks when you were struggling a little bit didn't help you in the points, did they?
No, that didn't help at all. So we kind of were at the bottom and worked our way back up. So this year we should be in pretty good shape. We got the same car, just put new body on it. The motor is fresh. It's got we freshened it right before the 200, and I had broke a shock mount in the back early in the 200, so I didn't run that whole race. And then we went to Aston and won the American Racer Dash and wound up. We were actually leading the race back and forth, and at the end wound up third. So the motor's got 200 laps on it, and we're actually in the process of building another one identical to it. So then I'll have a good, God forbid something happens, we'll have a decent spare to stick in.
Yeah, because let's be honest, it would have been nice to have that spare last year. Could have pulled it the first week, figured out what was wrong there, and not skipped a beat, right?
Yes, yeah.
What are you running? Is it a big block or a big small block? Because I hear different things from different people at different tracks as to what the preferred combination is.
I have the big small block. I seem to like that, but then Matty D won 5 races with a big block. So I guess it's all into your preference and what you figure out you like and go from there.
Yeah, because at Utica, too, I know at the beginning of the year, people with big blocks were going, I'm racing for 7th. And then about halfway through the year, I keep seeing all the big blocks win. It really does work that way sometimes, doesn't it?
That it does. I mean, it's just it's like anything. People switch shock brands all the time and this and that. You just got to sit down and figure out what works for you and get a simple setup and stick with it.
Yeah, because
sometimes simpler is easier.
And what works for somebody else may not work for you.
Exactly.
All right, so we're in pretty good shape, it sounds like, right about now. So do you have any memories of this particular night, now that we're looking at this picture from way back then? You said you never really did well at Rolling Wheels, though.
Yeah, I went a couple of times, and I never actually qualified for the feature, so.
Well, you probably didn't. Were you running Hoosiers then, or did you have to switch from racers to Hoosiers?
No, we were, let me think. I think... Boy, I don't honestly remember.
I don't remember either, to be honest with you. I know we used to see a lot of Fonda guys there, so I wonder if Fonda was dirt back then.
I think we were on American Racers at Fonda, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay, and you're pretty much exclusively American Racers now?
Yeah, with doing the racetrack at Fonda and stuff, I've just been doing just Fonda.
Okay.
We're going to hopefully get to venture out a little bit to Utica this year, hopefully. Maybe follow the Thunder along the Thruway series.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of finding somebody I can trust to water the racetrack on Friday night while I'm gone.
Enough.
So.
Yeah, because one little mistake and that's it. So, and I remember last time I talked to you, you were just learning. So what do you know now that you didn't know 2-3 years ago?
Well, quite a bit actually. I've learned some different things on grading, and then I used to just do the grading and water once in a while, and then there was a couple things that transpired, and then I got full bore at it, and it was just kind of one of those things. You set into the fire, and you figure it out as you go. Mm-hmm. So some nights are better than others, unfortunately. I mean, it's just like doing your race car. Sometimes you hit it, and sometimes you miss it. I mean, you got to watch the weather quite a bit. The wind blowing, or the sun shining. And there's a lot that goes into it.
Only got about a minute left, Craig, so I'm looking for a somewhat quicker answer to somewhat of a technical question here. What's the one thing about grooming a racetrack that maybe the average race fan doesn't know?
All the time that gets put into it. A lot of time and energy goes into a racetrack.
So we don't just show up Saturday morning, splash a little water on there, and pack it in and go.
No, it doesn't work like that. It's kind of like your race car. You get out of it what you put into it.
So you're working on the track more nights than you're not?
Yeah, I work on the track probably 4 to 5 nights a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a lot of you guys think that this stuff is easy, and it's not like there's a lot of handbooks and stuff like that to learn either. Sometimes the best way is to learn by doing, and that is what Craig Hanson has done. Hey, man, keep in touch. Again, thanks for making time for me tonight. I really appreciate it. Please say hi to everybody out that way for me, and I'll be in touch, and you get the first win. Send me a quick message on Facebook. I'll call you, and we'll get you on, okay?
All righty, Doug. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Hey, keep sharing, guys. Turn on the notifications. Hit that bluey down there. Subscribe. And we got a lot of cool stuff coming up this year, so make sure to stay tuned here to the EVP channel here on YouTube.